All right, I think we can get started here. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar. I'm Brenda Noble, and I head up our SmartNet team here at CVE. This webinar today will be a demo of a new tool called SmarTrak that CVE has invested in to make Cisco SmartNet and subscription renewals, along with Cisco enterprise agreements, easier to manage for us and our customers. With that said, I'll turn it over to Eric Dost from SmarTrak to begin our demo, and we'll have time at the end to answer any questions anyone has.
Very good. Thank you, Brenda. For everyone on the call, it's great to meet all of you. My name's Eric Dost. I head up customer success over at SmarTrak, joined today by Max Hadley, a customer success manager on my team, who will be auditing the chat should anyone have questions that come up on the call. So today I'll be walking you through SmarTrak, just starting off with a couple slides to give you an idea on what SmarTrak is, and then actually walking through a demo of the application itself. Should take about 30 to 45 minutes, but as questions come up throughout the demo, please feel free to send them in chat or save them for the end, and we can certainly answer them. Can everyone see my screen okay?
I can.
Perfect. All right. So what is SmarTrak? So SmarTrak is a collaborative space where you can collaboratively work with the CVE team across the entire life cycle of your Cisco portfolio, consolidated in one pane of glass. Managing renewal actions or decisions on assets that are reflected in SmarTrak are visible to the CVE team for that ease of information sharing and that ease of collaboration. So part of how we got started here at SmarTrak, one of our founding executives was a chief technology officer at a large Cisco end customer, and their experiences based around SmartNet management, upcoming end of support equipment, and managing things like subscription consumption and other data points related to their Cisco lifecycle were difficult challenges at times that ultimately resulted in SmarTrak and what it is here today. So as you can see in front of you, SmarTrak is one collaborative space for all of your Cisco data. By leveraging your install base report through digital consent, the CVE team can give you one pane of glass for every contract, every renewal, managing every bit of end of support equipment or tech refresh events over the next 5 years, and with a living source of truth. And by living source of truth, I mean that data set is up to date every day on the back end for your holistic Cisco portfolio. So that way, what you're doing with the CVE team is kept up to date. So that way you're always on the same page as you march through your lifecycle events with them. Now, just at a quick overview, what we're going to be going over today, just give you that quick high level overview. We'll be walking through a demo of the application and highlighting many of the Cisco customer challenges that we see SmarTrak helps with greatly across multiple different spaces, including managing locations, managing where assets live, challenges faced by public sector Cisco customers, which there are many that Cisco challenges that we see that are addressed in SmarTrak. And then from there, we'll leave some time at the end for questions and next steps as well, including having a tailored demo of your own data to you within SmarTrak as well. So Brenda, Kent, anything, and Rod, anything you would like to add from your end before we dive into the application?
I don't believe so. We can get started.
Sure. All right. So here is SmarTrak. This is a demo set of data. What we're looking at here is powered by APIs on the back end with Cisco and uses the install base report for your organization to consolidate all of the Cisco data related to your lifecycle into one shared space. So all of these tiles that we're looking at here are drillable. So you can click into just about everywhere in SmarTrak, search, filter to see the data you need, and manage it in application, or simply hit the export button. And then you have a customizable Excel of the data that you're searching and filtering. So for example, we can see here we have 318 end of support major items within the next year. Typically, this means that's 318 products that need to be evaluated for tech refresh. Just by clicking 318 right here, SmarTrak has searched and filtered through all of the data and shown me all of my products, all 318 of them, going end of support over the next year. I can click to see more data behind them, such as service levels, installed site addresses, any Cisco sales order or PO numbers, end of support dates, end of sale dates, end of warranty status as well, and the ship date of the products, while being able to work with the high level in SmarTrak, or simply hit the export button to take the data out. So through the export functionality, SmarTrak allows you to create a multitude of different reports, just simply based on filtering, like on coverage end dates, reports on contracts, reports on subscriptions, all of that. So all of this is drillable, and with your install base report will consist of your entire Cisco environment. The first piece here that I'll highlight, since it's in our name, is the AI brief. Now, this is part of an upcoming release for Cisco customers, so that when you go log into SmarTrak, you have the dashboard, you have the metrics that you're working with, but then you have your overall business summary. So this is a prescriptive analysis of your entire Cisco environment, tailored to you, showing you the next 12 months of life cycle events without having to open a single Excel file. Now, for those of you that may have larger teams or a larger organization where they have teammates that have more specific visibility that need a narrower focus, say a group of installed sites that they manage, for example, these AI briefs will be tailored to their visibility. So then that way, these AI briefs are personalized, outlining the top risks and critical actions across the entire install base, any end of support events coming up, say in Q4, highlighted here, with the ability to view tech refresh replacement recommendations, which I'll get into in a few minutes. You'll also have expiring subscriptions, EA true forwards called out for enterprise agreements, opportunities for a sustainable technology replacement. And for those of you that may be focused on, say, energy consumption or sustainable technology, this sustainability options are options provided by Cisco, and that's what SmarTrak is showing you. So they are Cisco sustainable replacement options. You'll also have quarter by quarter snapshots of your lifecycle events, including expiring contracts, end of support SKUs, sustainable tech refresh SKUs, subscriptions due for renewal, true forwards, and then recommended next steps across your entire install base. So this here, when released, will actually be able to provide each one of you an individually tailored lifecycle summary over the next 12 months. Now, when leveraging AI in SmarTrak, if you see this clipboard button right here, you can copy this to your clipboard to collaborate with the CVE team that way. And you can also download to a PDF as well, should you need to share internally for any. So the AI briefs and other features of SmarTrak that we'll be going over today, they address chronic challenges that Cisco customers have been dealing with for a very long time. These challenges have simply been taken as the price, like cost and effort time-wise, in working with Cisco data. SmarTrak aims to reduce that and fix that in several different ways for you. First is the collaboration side. You have your visibility to your data in SmarTrak, and the team at CVE can see it from their side as well. So when it comes to looking out for your life cycle and managing your data sets over time, there is no need for, say, an iterative spreadsheet process or iterative back and forth trying to understand the inventory for the next 6 months of renewal. Everything is displayed in SmarTrak, and with those install base reports, everything is captured, allowing you to work with all of your data and keep it up to date on an ongoing basis. Now, a big part of this, and have with that this collaboration motion is ease of visibility. So part of that first is the AI briefs that we reviewed with the overall business summary. Another piece of that is the dashboard metrics here that are all drillable, searchable, and filterable. And then you have the smart map. The smart map is a quarter over quarter, year over year life cycle event timeline across all of your Cisco assets, holistic of end of support devices, contract expirations, enterprise agreement true forwards, any subscription expirations, and opportunities for a sustainable technology replacement, quarter over quarter, year over year for the next 5 years. Now, this can be viewed in Cisco's quarters or Cisco's fiscal year with a toggle right up here, which will change around the smart map and show it to you in Cisco's financial year. For any type of planning around your spend with Cisco. All of these smart map events as well are drillable, as other areas are in SmarTrak. So by clicking this here, you'll see a breakdown of the actual SKUs going end of support, all of the products. You'll see the expiring contracts field here, showing all of your contract numbers with the ability to drill into a specific contract to see all of the details behind it. Now, a big piece of this, especially on the refresh planning side for end of support items, is that SmarTrak doesn't just make it easy for you to see the data, it makes it easy for you to address the and then what side of things. So here, with this list of 200 LDOS SKUs, if I were to or LDOS items, if I were to click LDOS SKUs here, it would pull up a list of all 266 of those items. Rather than do that, however, I would think I'd want to know what to do next with this equipment. Say, for example, 36 3850s that are going end of support in Q4 this year. Just by clicking the SKU itself, SmarTrak's artificial intelligence will present the top 5 tech refresh recommendations from Cisco for this product. Now you'll see the replacement SKU listed up here. You'll see a description of the actual product going end of support, and then you will have ranked options with your first best option with the migration SKU and technical specs listed here. You'll have the description, power consumption, and percentage improvement against your end of support asset, the lifecycle status or the projected end of support date and year, and you'll have list pricing as well, and an actual replacement argument showing you why this 9300 is the #1 recommended replacement for the actual end of support device. Now, we do start with 5, and we're showing you 5 recommendations rather for the actual end of support event. However, on the back end, the AI model is very robust and actually starts with over 50 appropriate replacement recommendations. I say that because what we do see is that after evaluation, 9 times out of 10, the device that's purchased is on that list. So you can see any replacement recommendations for end of support items across your entire environment 5 years in advance, with the ability to start budget planning and have a proactive conversation with the team at CVE as to what you should do next about major end of support events and budgeting around that. Now, a big piece of this here as well is that when you're seeing these options, say you want to take them out of SmarTrak, you can hit the download button to bring them into a customizable Excel file, picking and choosing what columns you want to appear in your file so you can see that data and use it internally. And in the window below, what you'll see is the actual replacement option that's selected, the 9300, put up against the actual end of support product in your environment with all of the details ready for you at a click. So all of this is easily searchable, drillable, and exportable. So here's a list of every one of those devices that are involved in that event for this particular SKU. And now I can take them right out of SmarTrak. And it's all here for me spelled out for every end of support event over the next 5 years. Now, a big piece of this as well is that when you're leveraging and working with Cisco's data set, a common challenge that we see often, especially in the public sector space, but also with large scale environments, is too much noise or a difficult time understanding the life cycle that, say, has been acquired through a merger and acquisition. Um, those of you who might be in the public sector, I'm sure are familiar with the pain points around Cisco GUIDs or Global Ultimate IDs aligning with installed sites and the pains that come with that. And those of you with large scale environments, I'm sure are aware, say, when you're acquiring an actual Cisco environment, say acquiring a new acquisition, oftentimes it's a difficult time understanding exactly what's been acquired. So SmarTrak will help remedy both of those in the same way. So if we look here, this smart map that we're looking at here is consolidating data across 7 different Cisco GUIDs or parent customers and 150 installed site addresses. So this here is providing a tailored view for the public sector Cisco customer base where they can see all of their data that's relevant to them without the noise of misaligned GUIDs or installed sites that may not be relevant to them. And for customers that say go through M&As where they're acquiring Cisco estates, just by providing digital consent to the CVE team for that new acquisition, the CVE team will be able to bring that in Cisco install base report, holistic of everything that the customer organization has ever purchased from Cisco, into SmarTrak. So then that way you can see a list of the organizations that you are in, that you need visibility into, whether that be 100 to 150 Cisco installed sites, or whether that be seven GUIDs with an 8th GUID due to a recent acquisition. All of the data is accounted for here. And say in that scenario where you have a GUID where you've recently acquired a Cisco estate, you can view that individual Cisco estate and that individual customer overview for all of that data, including an actual smart map for that acquisition. So this is a huge problem that Cisco sees across the entire customer base that they love for SmarTrak, specifically because of how much Cisco customers were going through those scenarios, M&As, misaligned environments or installed sites and GUs that don't make sense or are inaccurate. This provides shared clarity between you and the CVE team across the board, so that you can get working on your life cycle and managing your portfolio faster, with less iterative process, less fits and starts. Before I continue on, Brenda, Kent, is there anything you'd like to add around this particular challenge for the team on the call?
The GUIDs can always be an issue with customers who have other companies, but they would require different LOAs to be uploaded, correct?
Yes, you would need a when say an acquisition was made or a customer acquired a group, the CVE team would need to send a digital consent request over to that new acquisition. The acquisition approves, and then in about 1 to 2 days, you'll have their full install base report and be able to give the team access in SmarTrak.
Okay.
And then
So
all of it
that's
will be accounted
specific
for.
GUID.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
No, this is great. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, this is a big problem here. Especially we see it going through those M&As and those environments, but especially in the public sector, Cisco's leadership on the public sector side, they love this because of all the challenges that they see. So while we're on this view here, this GU focused dashboard, the next piece I will focus on is EA visibility in SmarTrak. So we've actually built our EA visibility and module here at SmarTrak based on Cisco customer challenges and partner challenges like CVE, partners like CVE might deal with when it comes to EAs. What we've heard from Cisco is that end customers feel like true forwards and consumption are a bit difficult to track or gain insight into. too many places to check and disparate information. And then when it comes time for a true forward, there's a lot of head scratching as to why the true forward cost is the amount that it is. So with SmarTrak, we provide EA visibility right on the smart map, calling out enterprise agreement true forward events and the dates listed. You can see here, this EA has a January 31st, 2026 true forward event. And then this is up to date every day with the EA APIs on the back end. And just by clicking this here, we'll be taken to the actual EA module for the customer. So you'll see up-to-date entitlement consumption percentages across your EA, across all of the different suites in use, an actual breakdown of suites per EA. So you can see here we have security, services, and between security, we have 4 suites here, and then services, we have another 4 suites called out here. So you get a breakdown of the EA, and you can always take this right out of the application and download it as a PNG if you'd like to include it in a presentation or a documentation internally. Now in the window below, you'll see the actual EAs themselves, or your EA, spelled out with your total purchased entitlements, the number of suites included in the EA, other EA information like the subscription ID and web order ID, and the term as well. And then by clicking one of these fast forward arrows in blue right here, you'll see the detailed consumption information for your EA with the ability to open up any of the suites, to view your actual SKUs associated and see which ones are overconsumed and which ones are not. So we track when the calculation method for your entitlements involves value shift. If your entitlements are and your EA pieces are migration eligible, if there's a true forward due for your EA, the actual percentage of overconsumption, and provide you also the ability to say, SmarTrak, I'd like to see my overconsumed SKUs only. Across every bit of the EA. So this here, a big piece here that Cisco really likes about this as well, and Cisco customer base is a big fan of, is that when you see your data like this in SmarTrak, the team at CVE can see it just like this as well, and it is kept up to date every day. So the idea is that your teams, as well as the team at CVE, all have eyes on your EA consumption and your entitlement utilizations. So that way you can stay in front of any true forwards and you can maximize the value of your investment in your enterprise agreement. Any questions or any other comments, Brenda, on the EA side of things for the team on the call?
Just that this is a great view that I don't believe Cisco even gives at all close to this, but it's great for like for those true forwards for a customer to be able to budget for that, at least to be able to see where they're at and if they are overconsumed and get a realistic number of what they'll be expecting at that true forward time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, a big piece of that, Brenda, to your point, when you're saying this view, can't really think of any place to find it with Cisco. Everything we've added to SmarTrak is based off of feedback from customers and partners like CVE. So that way, what we're providing here is tailored to what's most important to you as Cisco customers to make sure that you are getting the most out of this, out of your investment in Cisco and out of your product and portfolio so that you can be prepared for any end of support, any true forward events, and any consumption or expiring renewals ongoing.
Yep.
Now, for the planning side of things, the next piece I will touch on is the
Eric, there
smart
was a
budget.
question in the chat.
Yes. I'm sorry, I can't see the chat right now as a presenter. What's the
Okay.
question?
Does this still include Meraki licenses hardware information?
Yep, Meraki. Yes, Meraki device information will be included on the install base reports. So all of that is included. as well as licensing information is available as well.
Thank you.
There
sure.
there was another question too, Eric, earlier. They're asking how many smart accounts does it track? But I don't think it's based on smart account information, correct?
No, it's not based, not based on smart account information. It's based off of the install base reports
Mhm.
and any business that's already with CVE.
Correct. Based on the company's GUID was Cisco.
Yes, using that GUID and installed site alignment that way.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions before I continue on to smart budgeting and refresh planning?
That's all in the chat right now. Oh, wait,
Okay.
I just got one. If Cisco small business switches are used but are not on contract, can they be added?
Great question. So yes, they can. So Cisco install base reports, like the team would from CVE would request for, those reports are holistic of everything your organization has bought from Cisco, whether it's covered or not currently. So if you have equipment that you might still be using in the environment, it's just not covered, it went end of support, but it's still just going, that will be included in there, as well as any equipment that may have never been covered will be included in there as well. So that way you can get insight into all of your Cisco products, not just the ones that are covered.
Eric, that brings up, I don't know if we want to do it now or I don't want to mess up your flow, but is there a
Sure.
way in here that they could drill down into see what items are not covered?
Yes, they can. So what we can do here, I'll take this time actually to touch on the collaboration side of SmarTrak. So here, I'm under all of the devices for Mark's Bomback here with my GUID spelled out for me. You'll see all of the asset information. Clicking into your assets will show you the status, whether it's in signed status with Cisco or never been covered or currently not covered, or even if the contract has been terminated, for example. You can also filter on this as well. So you can, okay, show me all of my devices with an active contract. Expired, signed, never covered. So you can filter on all of this, as well as the item status as well. On business entity, so you have all these different filtering options to see your data, how you need to see it. And you can search, filter, work with it in SmarTrak, or simply pull it out of SmarTrak for any type of internal use as well. Now, something I will highlight here is the collaboration side of SmarTrak. So if you can see on the right, we have columns that say renewal actions. These renewal actions can be set at any time within or outside of the renewal period. Archive to designate old data or data that is now irrelevant. Say this is a device router 1 in warehouse 5 Arizona. You know that this device has been replaced. It's sitting in a dumpster. You can archive it. Spare indicates that this is in a warehouse waiting to, or in a storage closet waiting to be covered when in use. Renew for coverage. Retire to say CVE, no more coverage. Replace to say CVE, I need to replace this device. Revert to a previous service level. Remove from any quoting, or asking CVE for a phone call. So you can set these renewal actions at any time to be affected at renewal period. So for example, if you were sitting down to review your upcoming expiring devices with expiring coverage, and you wanted to review the next year of SmartNet needs, you can view all of your devices by coverage end date so that you could say, SmarTrak, show me all of my devices with end dates between today and this time next year. So I get an understanding of what's currently covered and what I'll need to be reviewing for coverage. I just filtered to show 100 devices with coverage expiring over the next year. Now I can go through, set my renewal actions, and it's one and done until there needs to be adjustments. And the CVE team will be on the same page the entire time. So that way you don't need to send spreadsheets back and forth. The work is centralized in SmarTrak. Everyone who needs to see it has access, and time is saved.
Eric, can this be done on an uncovered item?
Yes, it
Like
can.
if they decide to cover or want to flag something to cover?
Yes, it can. So those install base reports, that uncovered device will flow into the application that way.
Mhm.
It'll be here, and then the team can simply set to renew so that they know, oh, we need to cover these devices that are not covered.
Perfect.
And that way the CVE team can see it
Thank you.
for sure. And so then the idea though is that say you affect these renewal actions, these coverage decisions, when CVE processes the renewals or process the renewal on the back end, the APIs that CVE has with Cisco will update the coverage information on an ongoing basis. So then that way, when the contracts are affected, you will see it populated in SmarTrak. Now, something I'll highlight here as well are tracking devices to actual locations. So as you saw earlier, I'll actually clear the filter so we can have that example up again. We have nicknames and item locations listed here. As you can see, a pencil icon appears when I mouse over them, and it'll allow you to actually edit these one-off, but the CVE team can import these nicknames and item locations at scale. So the problem that this addresses regards installed site addresses specifically. Oftentimes, Cisco puts down the installed site address as a headquarters location, not actually where the device lives and where the device is being used currently. So what SmarTrak does by providing you nicknames and item locations is that it gives you and the CVE team a shared expectation on where the asset lives, what the asset actually is, and then providing your teams to edit them one-off, say if a router changes location or if a new router or if it's designated as a new nickname, and the CVE team will see that as well. So then that way over time, everyone's on the same page and there's no spreadsheet or installed site address headaches that way. Just a shared understanding of what these devices actually do and where they are. And a big piece of this as well is that these nicknames and item locations can be used pretty creatively. One end customer that I know of, a large shipping company with boats traveling around the world, they have IP addresses and host names included in their item locations and nicknames. Because then what that allows them to do is track actually where those devices live, what they're being used for, and then you can search on these nicknames and locations. So then that way everything is accounted for, it's easy to bring up, and you have easy visibility using your own familiar names and item location conventions with the ability to set renewal actions for all of those assets as well, and even download the data to Excel whenever needed. And this is a big piece of how we get around the spreadsheet heavy management, is by providing a centralized space for the entire Cisco ecosystem that you manage, shared with the CVE team. So that way you can focus on taking the next step as opposed to a reactive refresh or renewal planning motion that we see often. Now, the next piece here I'll touch on, unless there will be the smart budget. As you can see, we have end of support dates for all of these products coming up in October 25 and October 2027. To provide assistance and help you manage your upcoming refresh needs and budget planning, the smart budget will provide budgetary ranges for every quarter for every end of support event across your entire Cisco environment over the next 5 years, using the low and high end of list pricing on those replacement recommendations. You'll be able to click into each quarter to see the budgetary range or see the actual group of products included in that end of support event, as well as be able to view a full AI response, which will show all of the actual events, the year, and replacement budget based on list, the actual SKUs going end of support within each quarter, and the budgetary ranges for the SKUs based on the actual number of products going end of support and the list pricing of the recommendations. So especially for those of you who might have misaligned GUID and installed sites, or say going through M&As on a regular and acquiring new Cisco estate and expanding your Cisco footprint, this is a way that you'll never have to be surprised by tech refresh events ever again. Actually, that story I mentioned about one of our founders being a chief technology officer, the example that they always remember when we talked about this is that when they find out about tech refresh events, typically, as we've seen across the entire Cisco customer base, is it's a very reactive motion often with varying levels of accuracy. And this is a way for all of the data to be accounted and proactive planning over the next 5 years. Brenda, Ken, anything you'd like to add to this piece as well?
No, just to reiterate, these numbers that you see are Cisco list prices. So obviously no discounting or anything, but it's a good start for budgeting.
Absolutely. Especially an awareness on events years out that could end up being, what are we seeing here? $930,000 in Q1 2027.
Yep.
So the next piece so that has gone through, we've actually walked through most of the content I had for today. I will also highlight just each of these individual lists along the left side, especially when it comes to managing disparate renewals or upcoming expirations and looking at co-terming options. Each list along the left side shows you your data at the level. So this is a list of all of your SmartNet contracts. Subscriptions is a list of any Cisco subscriptions you have. Quotes are for renewals that you might be working with the CVE team and so on. You'll see here all of your contracts, their earliest major item end dates, the status based on those Cisco data sets, and what's covered within each one. Over time, and this will be kept up to date via APIs and allow you to consolidate, and with that install base report, consolidate all of your Cisco data in one place so that it's accounted for. So that way you can look at your upcoming next several months of expirations, track what needs to be worked on, and then you leverage the smart map for this as well. And you can drill into any of these these contract or subscription calendars, as you can drill into just about everything else in SmarTrak. So with that brings me to just about the end of the content that I had prepared for today. So I guess this is a good time then, unless Brenda, Kent, there's anything else you'd like to add or anything I should touch on. We can open up the floor to any questions that the team might have.
Eric, on the subscriptions I saw in auto renew.
Yep.
Can they filter into to see which subscriptions they have that are set to auto renew? I know as a company, our policy is we typically don't do auto renew, but sometimes they get missed or some don't allow us to turn it off. So that's a good way for a customer to tell us to turn it off if they're not planning to auto renew.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can actually see, as you see, there are 2 subscriptions set for auto renew. To see these subscriptions, you just have to click auto renew, and it'll show you those 2 subscriptions, and you'll see the filter.
Okay.
So it's click to filter in many different places.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll be good for everybody. And like I said, if they do need to be turned off, we typically need 30 to 45 days notice.
Sure. And it's definitely helpful too if we say click the see auto renew, and you can see actually the end date
Yep.
out into the future. We can see here there's one in April 22, 2026.
Perfect.
Good. And so the data set for the subscriptions as well, I'll actually click in to show what those look like. The data set for the subscriptions as well is kept up to date every day on those APIs. So that when you're actually working with the data set and viewing it in here, you'll see days to renewal, order activation date, submission date, and all this different information, including the actual subscription items that you have and how it's billed at, with more details for each one. So that way you have your subscriptions, your enterprise agreements, your whole portfolio, your SmartNet, your end of support equipment, all in one place for you to manage your life cycle.
One question, Eric, when a new contract is generated, say a SmartNet contract, how quickly does that populate?
Great question. So based on the APIs with CVE, when I say CVE moves forward on that renewal with the contract, when the data updates in CCWR or on the Cisco side, that overnight, that should be updated in SmarTrak.
Okay, perfect. All right, there's no more questions in chat. Does anyone have any other questions to put into chat for us?
You know, while we're waiting, Eric and Brenda, first of all, Eric, thank you. When we saw this tool a few months ago, we were very impressed. A lot of people, both customers and partners, find it very difficult to track accurately all this information. So this put it in such a great format. So we saw this as a way for us to help our customers and add value in a very productive way. So we are investing in this tool. It will be available to our customers free of charge, and we hope everybody takes advantage of it. The other thing I wanted to mention, I should have done this up front, is if there are any veterans on the call, I just wanted to say a sincere thank you on this Veterans Day. We appreciate your service and your willingness to protect this great nation. And thank you for joining us today.
Joining us. I echo that sentiment exactly from everyone here at SmarTrak.
Yeah, thank you, Kent. I think the next steps is any customers who are interested in doing more of a directed demo of your data is to contact your account manager, and we can get over the digital consent to get the information we need from Cisco to import all your data for you to see it.
And to speak to that process from the SmarTrak side, once Brenda and the team at CVE receive consent for your full install base, they will be able to present to you a holistic lifecycle analysis of all of your Cisco data and your very own smart map as well for everything Cisco in your environment. From my standpoint as well, we also provide an actual training course, so that way as you get into using SmarTrak, you have a hand from our side walking to you through every step.
Yep, and then we'll just work with you to set up the assignments of who needs access to the tool.
Brenda, can I do one last plug? And I apologize, a little bit of a shameless plug. For any of those customers on the call that are part of a government entity, just a reminder that you can use the NASPO contract for your purchases. And I think everybody's aware of that, but we just ask to remind our customers from time to time.
Yeah. It's always a good reminder. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. Eric, did you have anything else?
No, just that was the extent of the content I had to review today. What we're doing here, again, is based off of feedback from Cisco customers and feedback from teams like the CVE team. So look forward to working with all of you and presenting you any of your data. So I appreciate the time.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric and team. We will, this is being recorded, so if anyone wants a copy of the recording, just feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, reach out to your account manager and we can get you going on using the SmarTrak tool. And thank you for your time.